Jade Upshaw is on her way out of Jonesboro to play basketball at Central Arkansas. We give our deep dive analysis on how this could affect the Arkansas State women's basketball team.
The A-State baseball series against Troy had its ups and downs, but what does Coach Raffo's team need to do to get more wins into the win column?
And the football team will have its spring game on April 15th. What should we expect to see during the game? What will the quarterback scenario look like? And how does Butch Jones bounce back? Next on Red Wolf Roundtable. Welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV. Hi guys, you already know who I am. I'm your host, Tristan Harlan. Here to my right is my compadre, my partner in crime, my best friend, my brother from another mother, Cooper, the Juice Box Melter. Cooper, how you doing today, my guy?
You know how I always am. I'm feeling great today. We got a great episode of Red Wolf Roundtable, and you know what? We just got to do what we got to do.
Yes, sir. You already know, business as usual. But guys, before we send it to our news desk correspondent, we did want to go ahead and let everybody know that this will be our last episode for the semester. We want to thank you guys for the support from this year. You know, it's been a crazy ride so far.
Does it have to be the last one?
I don't want it to be, but those who have power above me have deemed this the last episode of the semester.
Well, I guess we're just going to have to make people want to come back next year.
Exactly. Give them what they want. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and send it to our special news desk correspondent, Ella Jane Britt. Ella Jane, take it away.
Thanks, Tristan. As he said, my name is Ella Jane Britt, and welcome back to the Red Wolf Roundtable News Desk. This week in Arkansas State athletics, last weekend the A-State baseball team lost twice to the Troy Trojans, but the Red Wolves were able to sneak in a win, winning 17-7. A-State's 17 runs came on 13 hits, highlighted by Dietrich Kell homering in the 6th and going 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs. Then Braden Caskey, coming into pinch hit, scored twice in the 8th and drove in 3 with a double. The Red Wolves pitching came in clutch with Kyler Carmack only allowing just 1 earned run in 6 1/3 innings and 4 hits and striking out 5. Jacob Conover earned his first career win, pitching a scoreless 8th inning. A-State concludes this 4-game homestand tonight, hosting Murray State. First pitch is at Tomlinson Stadium is slated for 6 p.m. on ESPN+, and the radio broadcast can be heard on the Ticket Radio Network station. The A-State bowling team defeated North Carolina A&T 2-0 in a mega match Saturday afternoon. The number 3 overall seed Arkansas State women's bowling team punched its ticket to Las Vegas for the 2023 National Collegiate Bowling Championship, April 14th through the 15th at South Point Bowling Plaza. With the win, A-State moves 82-29 on the season, and it's 29-3 over its last 32 head-to-head matches. Winners of the Southland Bowling League Championship and the Rochester Regionals, the Red Wolves are 7-0 in the mega matches this season. A-State is assured for a top 4 finish in the NCAA Championship for the 5th time in program history, following runner-up finishes in 2008 and 2021 and 3rd place finishes in 2010 and 2013. The championship matches will be played April 14th and 15th at South Point Bowling Plaza in Las Vegas, Nevada. Each of the top 4 seeds in the NCAA field reach the championship in Las Vegas. Number 1 seed McKendree will meet the number 4 seed Nebraska, while number 3 seed Arkansas State meets the number 2 seed Vanderbilt. For the latest on A-State Bowling, follow the teams on their Twitter at A-State Bowling, Facebook/A-State Bowling, and Instagram at Red Wolves Bowling. Cooper and Tristan, back to you guys.
Cooper, we got a great show this week.
We do.
And, you know, like I said, it's the last episode of the semester.
It is.
Kind of hard. But, Cooper, real quick, what's been some of your favorite moments from this season of Red Wolf Roundtable?
We going all the way back to fall. That trip to Ohio State,
yes,
that
sir.
gave me the nickname, the Juice Box. How could I not pick that?
Oh, dude, that Columbus trip is crazy. There was so much we could talk about, so much we can't talk about.
We could go for an hour-long episode just talking about that trip.
Dude, just driving to Columbus, you and I in the back, Mr. Dustin Sullivan driving, and Peyton Murray in the passenger seat. It was crazy, dude. But real quick, we're gonna take a short break, guys. You're watching Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV.
ASU-TV, shows like Red Wolf Roundtable, ASU-TV News, Westside Football, and more. Gain real-life experience while doing what you love. Get involved with ASU-TV today.
ASU-TV, covering all your favorite sports. From Red Wolf Roundtable to Westside Football and more, ASU-TV has you covered. Tune in now to ASU-TV for news and coverage on these sports and more.
Welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU TV. And Cooper, it's been an interesting time for the women's basketball team.
It really has been. We've gotten a couple players, but we're also losing a special player.
Yeah, so shout out to Jade Upshaw, friend of the show. She has announced today that she is transferring to the University of Central Arkansas to go play some basketball there. And Jade Upshaw, you know, we talked about her a lot on this show, you know. A good friend of mine, Jake Williamson, and I, we've talked about her game on, you know, off air. But the big thing is the key piece that this Arkansas State team is going to be losing is that three-point sharpshooter when needed.
Yeah, I mean, Jade, she never was really settled in at the starting role. She kind of took that early Miami Heat Tyler Hero role as the sixth man. As you see, she averaged only 6 points, 3 rebounds on 14 minutes a game with almost 40% shooting, which is really, really good. She didn't get enough minutes that she deserved, in my opinion. But then again, she is younger. She's our same year as us. She's a sophomore. But like you were talking about that three-point shot, she could always come in and just dominate when she needed to. When Izzy was having an off night, you know, Anna Griffin not being able to get things going, she was able to come in and hit those key shots and really helped us out along the year as it went on when that little losing slump happened. She really provided a lot of momentum that was needed for this team.
Yeah, Cooper. I mean, just talking about Jade Upshaw for a minute, you know, you saw the minutes on the screen. She didn't average as many as she wanted, and you got to think, like, why is Jade leaving? And that's what it boils down to. You know, it's the minutes. Jade and I have talked millions of times, you know, during games, before games, after games, and just, you know, amongst yourselves when we see each other in the hallway or wherever. And, you know, that's always been the number one key factor of, hey, that's why she's heading out, because of the minutes. Jade Upshaw feels as if she should be a starting one or starting two somewhere in college. And I can't say that she's wrong, because she has proven time in and time out that she has what it takes to go out there and hit the three ball, kind of run the offense a little bit when your star player's not running it. And she's the primary dynamic number two to a star player. And I'm hoping when she gets to the University of Central Arkansas and they start training, they start practicing, that, you know, they kind of realize what her strengths are, what her weaknesses are, because, I mean, Jade Upshaw, she's a great talent. She's got all the momentum in the world to possibly go play somewhere that, you know, could need her when it comes clutch.
Yeah, I mean, here at Arkansas State, she was really limited to that, like I was saying, that six-man role where she comes out and just shoots the three ball. But we saw time and time again in late game situations when we're up by 10 points, you know, they're kind of taking out the starters, we're putting in the bench, letting the bench play. We saw that she could be that point guard if needed. We saw that she can do more than just hit the three ball. And I feel like that was the role she kind of got stuck into here at Arkansas State, that you're going to be the three-point shooter. And while, yeah, that's good, she has a lot more talent that can be useful. And with her transferring to UCA, I really feel like she's going to go meet her full potential and shine very well there.
Right, and, you know, it's not a bittersweet moment for the women's team at all, because, you know, if you've seen on Twitter, and, you know, we bring Twitter up a lot here, because that's kind of pivotal point for athletics nowadays. But, you know, Coach Rogers, Coach Ness, Coach Ari, like all of the players and coaches were all sending her their love and support, saying, you know, hey, go get you one. UCA's got a sniper. You know, all the good things that you would want to hear from your coaches, from your teammates, from everybody that kind of supported you on that journey along the way. But, you know, it's just from a standpoint of being a friend of Jay's and really admiring her games, I'm glad she went to UCA because that's not a far drive from where we're from. So
no.
It's not going to be hard for us to maybe plan a day trip, go down, watch maybe a women's basketball game there and come back and, you know, just kind of talk about it. But, you know, moving along the lines to the men's team real quick, you know, it was announced over the Easter weekend that Arkansas State has gotten 2 new recruits from the transfer portal. They actually 100% committed, as you're seeing on screen now. LaQuil Hardnett, actually, he just signed today, so he's officially on the team. And DeAndre Dominguez, and, you know, you're looking at it and you're thinking, man, who are these guys? And let me tell you who these guys are. Let's start with LaQuil real quick. He's averaging last season 11.1 points, 7.3 rebounds, 1.2 assists, and he's shooting just under 50% at 49.2. He's a 6'8 senior from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and you're thinking, man, like, where is he going to fit on this team? And he's going to fit in right at that forward spot that Coop and I were talking about last week.
I was about to say, we were literally go back to last week's episode. Not right now.
Yeah, watch this episode first.
Watch this live episode first. And when this episode is over, go back to last week's episode. And we were talking about what key positions we needed. And we really hit on that small forward position, that forward spot, and we just got 2 of them. And they're shooting 49% and one's shooting 52%. I mean, what else could we want from them?
Yeah, and you know, it's real kind of nice to see Coach H, you know, shout out to him, by the way, happy birthday, Coach. It's real nice to see him going in the portal, getting the guys that want to play here, and, you know, he's not done.
No.
There's still a lot of time. I mean, I know a lot of people were seeing some of the Freddie Hicks news over the past couple of days, and Arkansas State's actually
in the top 5.
Yeah, the top 5. So if, you know, he commits here, that's going to be a huge get for the Red Wolves. But, you know, just looking at the players that are still here, that just got here maybe, and looking kind of a way too early prediction, so to speak, what awards maybe do you see some of our players possibly winning when the next season's all said and done?
Ooh, okay. Let's see. We already talked about this before. T-Baby, Terrence Ford, he got robbed the freshman of the year.
Oh, dude, 100%.
So,
speaking of that, the guy who won that award from Marshall, he actually transferred to Florida.
Good, we won't have to worry about him anymore. But
Sayonara.
Besides the fact, I want to see at least Terrence maybe win Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year. I really feel like that should be his goal. And Newcomer of the Year, I expect one of our transfers to win that. And I expect, you know what, just give us all the awards.
Yeah.
But I want Newcomer of the Year and Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year.
Yeah, cool. I mean, it's going to be very interesting. Like I said, it's still a lot of way. We're still a lot of ways away from basketball season. We still got summer to go through. We still got football season to go through. We've got a lot of time to go through. And, you know, we talk about football later on.
We are.
But, you know, Coop, real quick, like, what's your maybe way too early predictions? Before we go to break, what's your way too early predictions?
Right now, I feel like our ceiling is 4th seed in the Sun Belt and our floor is 8th seed. I really feel like we're going to be a middle-of-the-pack team, but that doesn't mean we won't be a scary team coming into conference play.
Well, Coop, I mean, that's a great point you make there. And, guys, we're going to step away. We're going to call a timeout, take a short break. You guys are watching Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV. Stick around.
ASU-TV, shows like Red Wolf Roundtable, ASU-TV News, Westside Football, and more. Gain real-life experience while doing what you love. Get involved with ASU-TV today.
ASU-TV, covering all your favorite sports. From Red Wolf Roundtable to Westside Football and more, ASU-TV has you covered. Tune in now to ASU-TV for news and coverage on these sports and more.
Welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV. And Cooper, the baseball team, wrapped their series against Troy this past weekend, and the first two games were nothing too fancy to talk about.
No,
Troy ended
not
up
at all.
winning both of those two games, but the third game, that was the game where the Red Bulls stood tall, thanks to a crazy 8th inning.
I mean, that 8th inning was just tremendous, Tristan. I mean, coming into the 8th inning, we were down after giving back-to-back home runs. You know, we're going to see the highlights. We just couldn't. The ump
got hit 3 times, 3 or 4 times, and then the catcher looks at him and says, "Hey, man, like, I can't see." We put a new catcher in, and Troy, they started to kind of get a little bit of momentum. You see a home run hit there, and it was
Look at this tremendous
yeah,
dive.
it was a great catch. I mean, you got a lot of good things that happened in the 8th. You're seeing it there. You know, Bartello, he homered. And then, you know, you get the double play there, and then he throws it right to home.
Got him out at home. That was a big game-saving play there. And something that we're going to continue to talk about is Daedric Kell. He has came alive and back to his true form. And I think it was this past Friday, I think I was doing my podcast with old producer man Easton John. And, you know, we somehow got talking about baseball, and he was like, man, Daedric Kell, he hasn't been the same this year, and then here comes Saturday, and he hits a homer, couple RBIs, and just has a great game.
Yeah, and it's to the point where we talked about, you know, Daedric Kell not necessarily being the player that he has been last season. I mean, I can remember fond memories of being in the trailer with Chase Weeks, our technical director, Ella Jane Britt, our news desk correspondent, and Jake Williams, and a friend of the show. And, you know, it was all kind of one of those rallying things behind Daedric because we all knew how talented Daedric was. And it was just one of those things where it was good to see Daedric come back to be the player that he used to be and could be. But, you know, looking at some of the stats for Game 3 real quick, thanks to producer man Easton John, Daedric Kell, you know, he went 3 for 4. And he had, 4 RBIs. He walked 1, struck out once, and it was very nice to see the Red Bulls win a game at home. But the story of the game, really the whole series, was those left on base by the batter.
Yes, it really was. And the best part, if you're looking at Game 3, we only had, 8 players left on base compared. They didn't. It was around the same, but besides that fact, we're not talking enough about how we scored 11 runs in the 8th inning to run rule them. And we scored, I would say, half of those runs with 2 outs. It felt like Game 1 and 2, we were leaving guys on base, striking out. We would have a guy on 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, and we would score 0 runs. Or we would have the bases loaded with no outs and only get 1 run across. Well, the bats came alive, and we scored 11 runs. 11.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great time. It was good to see that the Arkansas State Red Bulls were able to win, but don't forget about tonight.
Yes.
The Arkansas State Red Bulls are playing Murray State, and we actually got some of Murray State's highlights thanks to those guys over there in Murray State Athletics. You know, shout out to those guys. Thank you so much for the highlights. And, you know, it's one of those things to where you're looking at it, and you're like, okay, here's just another scrimmage / midweek that, you know, everybody calls it scrimmage pretty much. And it's one of those things where Murray State's one of those teams that not a lot of people know, but a lot of people should know. Because, I mean, I hate to say it, but they got some good guys on that team. I mean, you're seeing some of the highlights now, a little bit of error by Bradley there, but it doesn't really come to the full fruition because they got a guy, Dustin Mercer. You know, we actually have some stats comparing him to Brandon Hager, one of our best hitters, and you're looking at it and you're like, man, these guys are battling when it comes to home runs, and they're on base plus slugging. What makes this guy so special? And I'll tell you what makes this guy so special. He's their leading hitter, and you know, when you're looking at some of the highlights in it, he's able to get the ball into play to where he can really get his teammates back home to where they can make maybe a 1-run game become a 2-run game, or a 2-run game be a 3-run game, or a 2-run deficit become tied, because Dustin Mercer is just has that ability to where, like I said, he's able to put the ball in play, and he's got speed, as you're seeing there, to get around the bags, to get in scoring position, and get those guys on his team behind him even better chance to get points on the board, or get runs on the board. Excuse me. Don't let me say points.
No, get runs. Yeah, that's the correct terminology. But it's gonna be really interesting how we're gonna approach this guy on the pitching standpoint. Are we gonna wanna, come at him, give him balls, or are we gonna be aggressive and pitch at him? I know there's in MLB, there's some teams. For instance, Chicago Cubs a couple of years ago when Bryce Harper was on the Nationals, they did not want to deal with him. So every time he came up to bat, they did not give him a ball to hit. They walked him every time, and it worked in their favor. So I'm wondering if we're going to have a little strategy to counter-activate him, like take him out of the game. But we're just going to have to wait and see him. Hey, maybe since it is Murray State, will John Morant be?
Dude,
if John Morant
shows up, I'm going to hit the gritty with my boy Jai.
Okay.
But I don't think he's going to be there because he's got the playoffs to prepare for. And a big game tonight for the Lakers and or the Timberwolves. But that's not what we cover on this show.
No.
If we covered that on the show, we'd be like every other sports programming out there. But, Coop, I mean, looking at it real quick before we have to go to break, what do you see? Who do you think comes out on top here?
It's whoever can get the runs in when needed. We're going to have Carmack. He had a great pitching game. Now let's see him catch fire, fielding and batting. He's going to be our key player along with Daedric Kell.
Yeah, Cooper, I mean, you make a great analysis there, but real quick, we're going to take another timeout. We're running out of timeouts here, people, but we're going to take another step away from the show. We'll be right back into this, talking about some spring football and maybe a little bit of a quarterback situation. Stick around, guys. Watch the Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV.
ASU-TV, shows like Red Wolf Roundtable, ASU-TV News, Westside Football, and more. Gain real-life experience while doing what you love. Get involved with ASU-TV today.
ASU-TV, covering all your favorite sports. From Red Wolf Roundtable to Westside Football and more, ASU-TV has you covered. Tune in now to ASU-TV for news and coverage on these sports and more.
Welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV. Now we're going to kind of transition to sort of the bread and butter of the show that we talk about a lot here.
Oh, yes, we do.
And that's the Arkansas State Red Wolves football team. Now, for those of you that don't know, we actually got a little bit of some little bit of footage from our friends down at KEIT.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, to kind of look at what spring training's been looking like for the Red Wolves so far. And Cooper, just looking at it real quick, what are some of the things that the fans should be expecting to see in the spring game?
Well, the spring game, we're going to talk about this more, so I'm just going to bring it up real quick. You're going to be watching the quarterback battle. That's all I'm going to hit right now because I know we're going to want to talk about that, the quarterback battle. But we're also watch how the offensive line and run game works. That's two big problems we had last year was the O-line not being able to block as well, and we couldn't get the run game going at all. So I'm excited to see what improvement, what changes they have done to the O-line and the backfield, as well as I want to see how our young secondary has improved over last year to this year and see who's going to be starting out there on that defensive secondary.
Yeah, you brought it up well. The offensive line is going to be a very pivotal point where you're going to want to see the secondary again. Great point there. But the one thing, I'm kind of interested in seeing, which I'm sure we won't be able to tell till, fall when we get back from the summer vacation. You know, what's a vacation when you're going to be working all summer? But
Yep.
What's that Alan Jackson song? Working all summer, just trying to earn $1 or something like that. But anyways, the real big thing I want to see is on the defensive side, and I want to see what role Ethan Hassler is going to be playing.
Oh, your boy.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's my boy, but you can't deny that.
Oh, no,
he was a pivotal part in
hell
this
of a
past
player.
season. I mean, it was to the point where him and KB, Kavon Bennett, you know, best of luck to him. Hope he gets drafted. Was the two guys that when you played Arkansas State, like you knew those were going to be the two up front guys that you were going to have to get through to really get the ball into play and get deep plays for more yardage. But I mean, and like I said, you can rag on me all you want for being friends with these athletes, but I know talent when I see it. But real quick, now that we've kind of got more time, I want to ask you this. What are your expectations for this quarterback battle that we've been hyping up before you go into the spring game?
We have Daly and Rayner. Those are going to be our two guys. Daly, he's been on the team for a bit. He knows the team. And then you have Rayner. He's a freshman, but he's a dual-threat quarterback. No offense to James Blackman, but an upgraded James Blackman talent-wise, in my opinion. Daly knows the offense. He knows the team. But we're really going to see in the spring game who has the team chemistry. I hope to see, I'm not really sure how the spring game's going to go, if it's going to be first team versus second team, but I want to see both quarterbacks get reps with the first team, and then I'll make my decision on who I want. Do I want a big pocket passing quarterback, or do I want a dual threat quarterback who, yeah, he can sling the ball, but when it gets into trouble, he can go out and scramble?
Yeah, and this goes back to what we were saying during the football season with James Blackman. I mean, you know, no disrespect to any other quarterback on the roster, but that was what the one point of the offense was missing. I mean, sure, you had your talented receivers and your talented backs, but we're in a league now with the Sun Belt. They're in the league. It's not us because we don't line up and play. Lord knows we're too old and too brittle for that. But we're in a point now where football has escape the traditional pocket passer, and the dual threat is the big key. So I'm excited to see what that's going to look like. You know, I don't want to overshoot it or anything, but another key factor I haven't brought up, and a lot of people don't really talk about as much anymore now that he's back, is I kind of want to see what the rock star is going to do. Corey
for
Rucker.
Sure.
I mean, it boils down to the point where, you know, we talked about him a little bit when he was at South Carolina, you know, just kind of keeping up with him. And I'm excited to see what he can do in the spring game. Maybe he plays a pivotal part in the offense, and maybe not. We'll just have to wait and see.
We will. I mean, the rock star, we're really big on him our freshman year. You know, he leaves this year, he comes back. I just want to know, what has he learned at South Carolina being at an SEC school that he can transition over to A-State?
Right. Well, Coop, we're going to go ahead and send it to future graduate from Arkansas State University, Ella Jane Britt. Ella Jane.
Don't forget, tonight's A-State game against Murray State is the ending of the home stand against Murray State and against, you know, a homestand that we have. But first pitch is set at Tomlinson Stadium. It's slated for 6 p.m. on ESPN+. The radio broadcast can be heard on the Ticket Radio Network station. Hopefully the Red Wolves can keep their momentum and going to get the W. I just want to thank everybody here at Red Wolf Roundtable and the Red Wolf Roundtable ASU-TV crew that I've had. They've given me plenty of opportunities here, and I couldn't have done it without Cooper, Easton, Tristan, Mr. Sullivan, and a ton of other people. So I just want to say thank you, and I will be seeing y'all later on down the road.
Oh, shucks. Ella Jane's going to make me cry. But no,
thank
seriously,
you, Ellie.
Thank you, Ella Jane. We can't thank you enough for all the hard work you've put in with us over this semester. And, you know, dealing with us is no easy thing. I mean, I know we stressed you out.
Yes.
But, you know, real quick, before, you know, anything gets too carried away, I do just once again want to thank you, Ella Jane Britt. And, you know, you've played a pivotal part in my life. And, you know, thank you, kid.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love y'all long time, that's for sure.
Love you, but oh well.
Oh,
but anyways, Coop, last send off of the semester for us.
Man.
Is there anything you want to get off your chest? You got 45 seconds.
45. I can anything.
No.
Anything.
Something with respect.
Something. I like to take the chance. No, but you know what? I just want to thank you all, everybody, Ellie, our whole crew, staff, and engineers here. I want to thank y'all. Y'all did a tremendous amount of work for us. You know what, Tristan, it's been a great year. I'm ready for next year.
Yeah, so guys, thank you so much for watching this year's edition of Red Wolf Roundtable. We'll be back in the fall. And for that, just see you guys. Peace.
Cut us off.